I'm the morning DJ at WOLD. That's Harry Chapin. Okay, so the news continues. The I'm not allowed to tell you again and again, but coronavirus. If you look up on WebMD, unless they updated it, because I looked yesterday on WebMD, and it was an article from before 2020, and coronavirus is one of the viruses known to produce the common cold. So what we have is a great conspiracy, and the great conspiracy is to convince you that the virus that causes the common cold is going to kill you. Now, how many common colds have you had in your lifetime? Well, I've had easily 55 common colds. I mean, I'm a late middle aged guy, and they haven't killed me. So, what exactly is going on? Well, we know that the news media is controlled by a small number of entertainment companies. And one of those entertainment companies produced the 1997 movie with Dustin Hoffman called Wag the Dog, which is about a president of the United States whose popularity was really low. It had tanked. So they called in a Hollywood producer. In the case of this movie, it was Dustin Hoffman. And Hoffman created a phony crisis, a phony war in some far off country that no one from America ever visits, so there's no way to really confirm or deny whether it's real. And then they just cranked up the Hollywood moving machine to create phony reports from this phony war in some far off land. And sure enough, the polling continues with the American public, and the president's response to this phony war creates a bump in his popularity. That's one version of why we might have this ridiculous. The other thing is with all the small businesses that are no longer going to have customers. The early reports are that in Canada, Justin Trudeau, why did they hire this guy? This is the worst actor to play a prime minister. He has no sense of gravitas. In other words, Winston Churchill, the British wartime prime minister, you looked at him and he had a cigar in his mouth, and he had this just this voice, commandeering voice. Justin Trudeau is, I'm sorry, he's a faggot. He's got a faggoty lisp, and he's got a faggoty way. He's just so. Is it homophobia? I'm not afraid of him. I'm not phobic of him. I'm just telling you, he's his wife is a fake wife. If you're a homosexual and you have to put on a show and pretend that you're straight, you have what's known as a beard, not a beard on your face. The woman who is a paid actress is paid to be your wife. Way back to all of the Hollywood homosexuals, back when it wasn't really cool to be gay, like Rock Hudson or Roddy McDowell, they all had these paid actresses that pretended to be their girlfriends. But it was just for publicity. In real life, they were homosexuals and they had male lovers. Justin Trudeau comes from a long line of Trudeaus that are known to be light in the loafers. His father was known to frequent transvestites in Vancouver. How do I know? I met one of these transvestites many years ago. I was out for a walk, and it's very rare to get a snowstorm in Vancouver, but there was a snowstorm, and I went for a walk, and there was a bar that was open, and I went in, and there was one of these lady men. And seeing as the bar was empty, I sat down at the bar next to the lady man who got to chit-chatting with me and told me the story. She was an older lady, and she said, yeah, back in the day, I had a fling with Pierre Trudeau. And does it really surprise you? Not at all. But that's sort of the story of the Trudeaus. They're pink, and everyone knows that pink is also a sign of communism. And I don't know if you know, but Justin Trudeau's real father is Fidel Castro, the pinko communist from Cuba. And if you don't believe me, then just go on Google and type in is Fidel Castro Justin Trudeau's father, and you'll see pictures of them side by each. You go, they sure look alike. What else do we know about the Trudeaus? That's enough for the Trudeaus. Okay, what else do we want to know about the common cold coronavirus? Well, the other alternative news story that's making the rounds is that Donald Trump promised us that he would drain the swamp, and in order to drain the swamp, he had to create a cover story to get the people. That kind of falls down, actually, the more you think about this story, that he creates this phony story so that the people don't do what? Well, get them off the street so they could make all these mass arrests. I don't know. The last time I looked, they said it was that would be the alternative news. 140,000 secret indictments against various people. You know, the Pizzagate people and the Pedogate people and the Roman Catholic Church leadership, the banksters, the heads of large multinational corporations, especially Democrats. I think in the end, if you just cross out all those other names I gave you, and we'll stick with Democrats, it's a vendetta. V is for Vendetta. That was another movie you could look at. And the vendetta is the Republicans versus the Democrats. It's the same old story. And it's the let's throw all kinds of shit at the Democrats because it's election year. And we are Republicans and we want to win, win. So we're going to cook up all of this stuff to paint the Democrats as being in bed with Jeffrey Dahmer. That was the John Podesta story from way back in the Clinton being, I don't know. Podesta was working for Obama, and there were pictures of his home, and there were pictures of the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer, who was another homosexual. In this case, he was a homosexual that liked to kill and eat his sexual partners. And there was a statue of one of the dead rent boys in John Podesta's, or his brother Tony Podesta's living room. Was it true or not? Well, with advanced CGI, you can make anything look like anything. And but the people will believe because they're bored and they want to believe in something, and they got to have something to hate. So anyways, that's the news at WOLD, and please tune in for our 6 o'clock story where we're going to talk about Ant-Man. Ant-Man, they were written up in the comic books, Marvel comic books, Ant-Man, and we're going to give you the breaking news on Ant-Man versus Thor, and to see whether you want to buy into this new stream of comics because you're so bored with regular television reports. I had one more thing. Just hold on a second. Now, I just forgot about what I was going to tell you in searching for these 3D glasses. What else did we going to talk about? We talked about Trudeau's, homosexuals, Wag the Dog, Republicans, Tony Podesta, Jeffrey Dahmer, mass murderers. I'm trying to refresh my memory. Lady Gaga and Tom Hanks have been reported to be self-quarantining because they have, oh, that's what it was, the Rommel deaths. This was the story of, in World War II, the great General Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, they called him, who marched through North Africa, the African campaign, with his panzer divisions. Uh, well, Rommel decided he didn't like Hitler, so he joined a plot to kill Hitler, and there was a great bomb that went off in Hitler's conference room. Hitler wasn't killed, but they traced it back, and Rommel was implicated. So they called him back from North Africa to Berlin, where he was told, "You're going to be executed, and either we have a show trial where we put you in front of the German people and create you to be a traitor, or you can take cyanide pill and commit suicide, in which case we'll say you died of the flu, in which case your family will have great respect because you'll still be a war hero." And that was what they told Rommel. So that's what's going on with the people that someone says this is another phony baloney story. Yes, it's a phony baloney story, that they're going to tell a bunch of these leaders of industry and movie stars who apparently knew Jeffrey Weinstein. Apparently, even Donald Trump knew Weinstein. Why is it that there was a Weinstein after an Epstein? Is there something against the German Jewish names? I mean, German Jewish names all end in Stein. Steen, like Frankenstein. But anyways, that's why I keep coming back to, I think it's a Hollywood production because they're, you know, putting on this thing to keep us going from the monotony and boredom of being muggles. Now, if you remember Harry Potter, there was the wizarding world and there was the muggles world. And we live in the muggles world, unfortunately. And we haven't seen any more wizarding tricks lately. Maybe we'll do another wizarding trick for you later on this channel. Please stay tuned. And don't forget that why does my channel always seem to remind me of The Muppet Show?